Hi guys, welcome back to the Alpha Customs YouTube channel. So today we've got the 4 Series and we're going to be installing a gloss black splitter onto the car, and that's why the car is jacked up. And as you can see, we've used a piece of wood to keep the tire intact, and we've jacked up the car, and we've also got an axle stand which we're going to put underneath the car to have an extra support so it doesn't fall on your head. So I've got my little helper today who's going to help me out as well. And what are we waiting for? Let's get crack-a-lacking. So she said it herself, let's get crack-a-lacking. And in order to get this job done, we need a drill, we need a few ratchet tools, we need a jack, we need a piece of wood if you do have one, an axle stand, and we need the actual bolts if you're going to be installing it with bolts, as the washers and the nuts that were given with the actual splitter are not strong enough and they will come out, and that's why you see loads of BMWs with splitters breaking within a week, a month. So in order to stop that from happening, we're going to be installing it with M8 bolts and washers so that it stays intact. And instead of using double-sided tape, I don't advise this, but we're going to be using a bit of Tiger Seal in order to have a permanent fix onto the car. However, if you're looking to take it off after a while, then don't use Tiger Seal, use double-sided tape, and then that will do the job too. So let's get straight into the video. So this is the actual splitter that we're going to be installing. As you can see, it's in gloss black. I haven't taken it out the actual packaging, but let me take this one out so you guys can see it's gloss black, and it's like this all around. So this is the corner bits, and then this is going to go there, or on the other side actually, on that side. And then there's another one for this side, and then there's one which is going to go right underneath. So in order to fit all those, it's best to take off the bumper and install it. If you don't have time, like I don't right now, we're going to do it with the bumper on. It's going to be a bit harder, but you can still do it, and you can still have it secure as you would with the bumper off too. So we're going to first start off by attaching these bits to the big bit of the actual splitter and then installing it onto the car. So that's what we're going to get onto now. And as you can see, these are the screws that are supplied with the actual splitter. They're just tap-in screws, so they're not going to last long. With vibration of the car, it's going to come off, and then you're going to be in a bit of a mess where the splitter just comes off, so we don't want that. However, I am going to use this for some bits of the actual splitter to just hold it into place while I bolt these in, but this is not enough just to hold the actual splitter in. You want to show them your cool glasses. So let's get to it. First up, we want to start drilling holes into the actual splitter. This is done so that it allows space for the bolts to go through. So some people don't actually do this since they just use the tap-in screws. However, we're using these M8 bolts, and in order for them to go through, you need to make holes. And as you can see here, we're adding the top bits of the splitter in, and we're adding Tiger Seal too. But before that, we're putting in all the screws, we're making holes, adding the M8 bolts, and then also adding the Tiger Seal right here. When you're adding the Tiger Seal, just make sure that you're very careful doing so, as it can get over everywhere, and you don't want it to go over the splitter, as it is quite hard to take off. And once it's on, you can start sticking it onto the car as we're doing here, and then we're just bolting it in to the actual bottom of the bumper. So some people remove the actual bumper to do so, but we're doing it while the bumper is still on, and it is more time consuming. However, you can still do it without the bumper coming off. So I didn't realize my camera actually stopped recording, so I finally put the bolt that holds the splitter in between here. So as you can see here, if you get right to the back, it gets really tight here to put a bolt through, but I've managed to do it. So this is why people take off the bumper, as it makes life much more easier, and you can do this without a sweat. But if you have the bumper on, then you're going to have this problem. So just bear that in mind, and you need a lot of patience to do this, as it took me nearly an hour to just put this bolt in. But this is the hardest bolt. Once this is in, then the rest is fine and you can get crack-lacking. So that brings us to the end of this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So this splitter install is the same for most BMWs. However, if you did want to install bolts into splitters such as Mercedes, Audis, I believe it's a bit different, because longer bolts on these Mercedes will get in the way of a vent which Mercedes install at the bottom of the bumper. So if you watched our Mercedes video on how we installed a splitter, which is the link above, you can see that we had to redo it and shorten the bolts, because the longer bolts, or the M8 bolts that we used, went through the vents, and we had to do a lot of drilling and a lot of making holes. So in order to avoid that, just make sure you measure your bolts, measure what you are doing before installing a splitter. However, for BMW vehicles, you can follow this procedure and you can install it with M8 bolts. And that's all for this video, and if you did want to check out our products and our merch, which are listed on our website, please do click on the link in the description, where you can go on our website and purchase the items which are up for sale. And that's it for this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.